Logan Paul is abandoning Prime to go all in on this business, and he'll become a billionaire because of it. Let me explain.
Logan Paul and KSI built what they believed was an unbeatable empire, a billion-dollar brand selling nothing more than brightly colored water to teenagers. But here's the reality. That empire is collapsing faster than Logan Paul's reputation after the Forest incident. And the twist? No one expected this reason. Prime didn't fall because of lawsuits, caffeine scares, or health complaints. Instead, it failed because two YouTubers convinced themselves they could bypass the basic fundamentals of business. Prime was promoted as the ultimate competitor to Gatorade, the drink that would prove influencers could dominate any industry they stepped into. But rather than transforming the market, it turned into a neon-colored reminder that hype without real substance is just a shiny can full of disappointment. What's ironic is that this downfall was predictable. Even a middle schooler with a basic business lesson could have seen it coming. Let's go back to 2022, the height of the Logan and KSI viral chaos era. Both of them were riding the wave of staged drama, trending stunts, and constant online feuds. They had already perfected the skill of turning teenage fans into moving advertisements. So naturally, when they looked at the beverage industry, a field led by long-established giants with decades of expertise and billion-dollar research budgets, they decided, yeah, we can do this better. The confidence was unbelievable. Gatorade was created by scientists who understood actual performance needs. Red Bull didn't just make an energy drink, they built an entire lifestyle, refining both formula and brand over many years. But Prime was simply a repackaged sports drink with Logan and KSI's faces printed on it, promoted as if it were some kind of groundbreaking formula. They weren't selling hydration, they were selling membership to their fan community, one overpriced bottle at a time. And in the beginning, everything worked exactly as they planned. Those bright bottles weren't designed for athletes or anyone training seriously. They were designed for TikTok videos, selfies, and school flexing. The packaging practically shouted, "Look at me!" louder than Logan Paul at one of his high-energy press events. Kids weren't interested in electrolytes or taste. They wanted the same drink their favorite creators displayed online. It wasn't about flavor, it was about status. Their hype strategy was a controlled marketing setup disguised as creativity. Limited releases that sold out instantly, restocks timed perfectly with their latest viral antics, exclusive flavors that made kids feel like they were drinking a piece of online fame. Soon, Prime stopped being a beverage and became a collectible, a symbol of influencer culture and loyalty. Parents were driving around cities trying to find a single bottle just to satisfy their kids without realizing they were supporting a carefully crafted illusion of scarcity. At one point, resellers were selling those neon bottles for $50 each. Last week, Logan made an announcement that broke the internet, and it all starts with one website. While it only launched last week, his new company already made deals with Michael Jordan and $50 for a sip of pure disappointment. But here's where things get surprising. Though honestly, anyone paying attention could see it coming. While Logan and KSI were counting profits and celebrating their supposed takeover of the beverage industry, they were making every beginner-level mistake that sinks overhyped products. Mistake number 1. Assuming their celebrity power could hide the lack of real quality. Early reviews from people outside their loyal fan base were harsh. Some compared the drink to cotton candy cough syrup, while others called it flavored water with identity issues. Translation: when your drink tastes like regret mixed with neon chemicals, no level of influencer promotion can sustain it. Mistake number 2. They became overly confident and careless. That's when Prime Energy entered the picture. Same bold packaging, but now loaded with 200 milligrams of caffeine, equal to 2 Red Bulls, marketed to the same teenagers who were already hooked on the original Prime. Same influencers, same hype strategy, but now you're basically pushing a legal stimulant cocktail to kids and hoping nobody reacts. Spoiler, people reacted. Schools banned it, parents complained, health experts issued warnings, and Logan Paul had to go on his podcast trying to insist it was meant for adults. Meanwhile, the entire brand was clearly built to attract younger audiences. The disconnect here could power a whole city. And finally, their third and most damaging mistake was ignoring the simplest rule in business: sustainability. You can't build a long-term brand on temporary fame and artificial urgency.
Prime gets sued by Messi's company. My head almost exploded.
Wait, who came out with
shape of the bottle? Even the colors of...
Prime never managed to establish its own identity. Instead, it tried forcing its way into a market already led by long-standing industry giants who spent decades building their dominance. Think David versus Goliath, but this time, David forgot the slingshot and only showed up with an overly loud megaphone. Then came the lawsuits, appearing faster than Logan's usual questionable choices. Class action claims over harmful PAS chemicals surfaced, those forever chemicals that stay around longer than any apology Logan has offered. Add misleading advertising allegations to the mess, because labeling a drink as zero toxin hydration while filling it with questionable ingredients doesn't hold up in court. And most concerning, a lawsuit representing a 14-year-old who landed in urgent care after drinking 2 cans of Prime Energy. But the more serious hit came from Refreshco, their bottling partner. They had invested millions to upgrade an entire facility for Prime's custom bottles, relying on Logan and KSI's promises of massive orders. Then reality hit hard. Sales slowed. Prime couldn't cover the huge volumes they committed to, and Refreshco demanded $68 million. Leaked emails showed Logan scrambling, discussing shifting focus to international markets before the US market overwhelmed them. Prime's reaction was frantic, unorganized, and honestly predictable. The same investors who once flew in for champagne-filled meetings in 2022 suddenly disappeared when the founders reached out. The dream was collapsing, and everyone noticed except Logan and KSI, who kept promoting their revolutionary drink while their brand was falling apart. Because numbers don't lie, even when Logan tries to twist them. UK sales dropped 70% in 2024. Profits fell over 90%, and some stores reported a shocking 92% fall in weekly units sold. Those Target 12-packs that once sold for $25 were cut to $9, and still sitting untouched. The chaos of empty shelves turned into the silence of clearance racks. Meanwhile, real beverage giants like Monster and Celsius quietly captured Gen Z customers who realized they could get better drinks for less without supporting Logan Paul's ego. Gatorade didn't even react to Prime's rise or decline. When you control a category, you don't chase after imitators. Time removes them for you. Senator Chuck Schumer explained it clearly in a letter to the FDA. These cans look like Gatorade, but hit like a double espresso. Prime had gone from viral sensation to public safety issue, with cashiers checking IDs for anyone who looked under 25. But the strongest evidence wasn't in court documents or spreadsheets. It was online. The same TikTok users who once fought over Prime were now posting videos of bottles collecting dust in their fridges. Amazon reviews for the grape flavor averaged a low 2.7 stars, with complaints about chemical aftertaste and even existential dread. The internet moved on, leaving Prime behind like an unwanted trend from 2022. What destroyed Prime wasn't the negative press or the lawsuits. Those were only symptoms. The actual issue was overconfidence, artificial flavors, and the belief that popularity equals expertise. Logan and KSI assumed they could hype their way past basic business fundamentals, but no brand survives on borrowed fame and forced excitement. They promised elite hydration, but delivered bright bottles filled with disappointment, neon-colored regret. As the fallout grew, the cracks in their brand became impossible to hide. Distributors pulled out, retail stores stopped reordering, and the same social media that boosted the hype turned against them quickly. Memes mocking the artificial taste and high prices went viral, spreading faster than any of their own promotions. Even collaborations and celebrity endorsements couldn't save the failing brand. Fans who once lined up for hours now walked past the shelves asking, "Why did we ever care?" The hype that once seemed unstoppable now looked careless, proving that fame cannot cover up a product that fails to deliver. Meanwhile, insider reports suggested Logan and KSI were panicking behind the scenes, trying everything from international expansions to limited edition rescue flavors. But once credibility is lost, it is impossible to rebuild. Prime had burned bridges. What remained wasn't simply a failed brand, it was a warning about what happens when influence tries to replace substance. By mid-2025, the full scale of the collapse was undeniable, and the conversation around Prime shifted from excitement to embarrassment. Investors who once promoted their involvement quietly removed their names from press materials. Boardroom meetings became chaotic blame sessions, with Logan and KSI in the middle. Former employees described a workplace in freefall, delayed shipments, canceled campaigns, and rushed attempts to revive a brand that had already lost cultural relevance. Even merchandise partners grew cautious, worried about lawsuits and public backlash, leaving the founders isolated with growing debts and unsold stock filling warehouses. Social media, once their advantage, became a public courtroom judging every move. TikTok challenges poking fun at Prime, Instagram Reels comparing it to flavored water from discount stores, and Twitter threads analyzing every failed marketing decision spread rapidly. The brand's identity crisis grew worse as discussions about safety, taste, and the real value of influencer-driven products took over. Industry analysts released reports with titles like "When Hype Meets Reality" and "The Prime Energy Warning," presenting it as a perfect example of how even the most dedicated fan base can't protect a product built on style instead of real quality. The same hype that launched the drink eventually contributed to its collapse, creating a cycle of embarrassment, financial pressure, and long-term reputational damage that would follow the founders for years. They invested heavily in marketing toward young audiences, then used the same bold branding on products with adult novel stimulants. They signed huge supply agreements based on overly optimistic predictions, only to fall apart when actual demand didn't match the hype. And when criticism increased, instead of improving the product or accepting responsibility, they accused critics of being haters and dismissed valid concerns. This is why Prime's rapid rise and harsh fall stands as a clear example of how not to run a business. Hype can get people to buy once, but only real value makes them come back. If customers don't genuinely enjoy what they purchase, follower count won't save the product. And if marketing makes promises the product can't meet, legal trouble quickly follows. The main takeaway isn't just about energy drinks or influencer promotions. It's about understanding the difference between viral attention and sustainable business strategy. Logan and KSI mistook noise for planning, temporary momentum for long-term structure, and fame for credibility. They built a shiny brand on an unstable base and were surprised when it fell apart. What was intended to show that influencers could lead any industry ended up proving the opposite. Business fundamentals matter more than followers. And sometimes the most striking part isn't the financial loss or legal battles. It's seeing consequences reach those who assumed they were beyond accountability. And that, in its own way, is the most satisfying outcome. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Share your thoughts on Prime in the comments. See you in the next one.